going to also read this book, which is called Be Kind to Cats. And this is about some feral cat colonies in Philadelphia, right where I grew up. There's two women who go around to different feral cat colonies and feed them and take care of them, and they do a wonderful job. And they wrote this book called Be Kind to Cats. It's called The Colony Cats, KOLONYKATS. Uh, they have a pretty big. Oh, you wrote it, Craig. Okay, they have a pretty big following on Facebook. Um, they do a lot of really great things. So, Be Kind to Cats. We have another one called Oscar and Emmy Weather a Hurricane. And I thought this was a cute little book because we got Oscar, almost like Oscar the cat, the blind cat, but this one's not blind. Also, we have Emmy. We have a cat at home we call Emmy. So it's kind of a cute one. And if we have time, this was a very popular book when my wife was working at the SPCA. It's called Temple Cat. So those are the books that we're going to read. And like I said, I forgot my reading glasses, so some of it might be a little tough for me. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with Be Kind to Cats. All right. And if you look on the back, it has Meet the Colony Cats. They have some, they have some cats here. It says Bug is part of a feral cat colony called the Colony Cats, located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Join Bug as he takes you on a journey through his life, teaching you all about kindness and feral cats. So here we have, this is Bug, this is Lady, this is Summer, this is Cat, Fall and Spring, Striper, and Homer. So again, these are some community cats in basically parts of like Olney and the section of Philadelphia. Like I said, I grew up in Olney. So, all right. So, Be Kind to Cats. I also invited folks who follow Colony Cats here. I don't know if they are here. All right. By Chris Papernick and Kia Griffin. All right. I'm still turning pages. Okay. Hi, my name is Bug. I live outside with lots of other feral cats in a big city called Philadelphia. All right, I'll wait. I'll give it a couple minutes. So I was just whetting their appetite. Okay, honest. Hello, Amelia. How are you? You love cats? Well, you're in the right place. And the best part about this, Amelia, is that every one of these cats here has a story. Go Eagles. Yes. And I don't know if you're going to see this cat, Jessie. Up here she comes. Do you see this cat here? Jessie has turned 21 years old today. Happy birthday, Jessie. And here comes Magic. Magic only has 2 legs. All right. But you would never know that Magic's got 2 legs. And so we got a couple more minutes, but so I'll just show you what I have planned for today. Be Kind to Cats. Oscar and Emmy, Weather a Hurricane, and Temple Cat. And we're going to read the story that Daisy, Solly, and Pippi's dad sent to me. Yeah. Right. It's called Patch-Eye the Feral Cat. All right. So let me see if I can show you this picture of Patch-Eye. All right. This is Patch-Eye. Oh, Jessie had her own part. Jessie's 21, so now she can go out and have an adult beverage. There's cake for Jessie, maybe in the back fridge. So, I think what you're going to hear today is a couple of these stories are about a feral cat, or a cat that was living outside. Everybody knows that my boy Gallant, started out his life as an outside cat, and through no fault of his own, ended up here at Friends of Feline because of somebody's bad, what they did to him. And of course, he lives a cushy life these days. Every time I sit down on the love seat, Gallant usually jumps up and sleeps on my lap. Every time. Unless, of course, he's already sleeping on the cat tower. So, hi. We have a little Meeser. Hello, little Meeser. Hi. Hi there. You going to jump up? You going to jump up? Okay. All right, it's just about 9 o'clock, so I will resume the story. I already told you, hi, my name is Bug. I live outside with lots of other feral cats in a big city called Philadelphia. Today, I'm going to teach you all about feral cats and help you understand us better. What is feral, you ask? Feral means that we are very shy and scared. If you get too close, we may run away and hide. It is not because we are mean or don't like you, but because we have never been socialized or taught how to interact with people. Always remember never to touch, pet, or pick up a feral cat. We have 2 caregivers named Chris and Kia who come to visit us twice a day. They come every day, even when it's raining or snowing, because they love us very much. They bring us lots of yummy food, water, and treats. Some of us hide in the bushes when they arrive, while others rub against their legs. Speaking of rubbing up against legs, I have a little Meeser cat here who I think is going to jump up on me. But we are always happy to see them. Sometimes we even purr and wag our tails to show them how much we love them. Chris and Kia like to sing to us sometimes while they are feeding us, and we really enjoy it. Sometimes we sing back to them in our very own way. Meow, meow, meow. I hear you. At night, if it is cold, snowing, or raining outside, we sleep in our really cool feral cat shelters that our caregivers made for us. And I'll show you that in a minute. You see how it tells you how to make them. Cut the hole and insulate, fill with straw, and then it says cozy cat. And then it's a cat dreaming of sleeping. Right? They are like little houses for cats. They are filled with lots of straw that keep us warm, cozy, and dry. You may have noticed by now that I have one pointy ear and one squared ear. The squared ear is called an ear tip. That means that our caregivers took us to the animal hospital and the veterinarian spayed the females and neutered the males so that we cannot have any litters of kittens. Spaying and neutering keeps us happy and healthy. The veterinarian also gives us vaccinations and an ear tip. If the veterinarian spayed or neutered us, our caregivers returned us to our outdoor home a couple days later. And here's the picture of them. Oop. Hi, what are you doing? We have a little measer. We all have names. We all like to hang out with each other and nap together. We are all best friends. Feral cats like to have fun too. Some of the things that I enjoy doing are napping in the grass, bird watching, chasing insects, and watch people walk by. I hope that you learned a lot today about feral cats. But most importantly, I hope that you always remember to be kind to all cats, even feral cats like myself. Maybe when you were all grown up, like that'll happen to me, you could help cats in your neighborhood by being a caregiver for feral cats or a veterinarian. The correct way to spell cats is C-A-T-S. This group is about our group of feral cats that we named the colony K-A-T-S. All right, feral facts. Feral cats live all over the world, not just in Philadelphia. Boy, do we know that. This is a feeding station. A feeding station keeps food and water safe from rain and snow. When a feral cat needs to go to the veterinarian, their caregiver will trap them in a feral cat trap. It does not hurt or harm the cat. It is a safe way to transport them to and from the animal hospital. Not all feral cats have an ear tip. No. A veterinarian is a doctor for cats and other animals. The process of taking the process of taking a feral cat to the veterinarian and have them spayed or neutered and returning them to the outdoor home is called TNR. All right. TNR stands for trap, neuter, and return. And I think everybody here who supports FFRC with Humane Ohio, we all know about TNR. Alright, so I showed this before, but this is the back of the book, and you know, right there with the inky cat with the tipped ear is Bug. Bug is part of a feral cat colony called the Colony Cats, located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Join Bug as he takes you on a journey through his life, teaching you all about kindness and feral cats. So that is Be Kind to Cats. Yes, it is a really, really good book. And I actually, I'm sure, I actually bought 2 books. I gave one to Jackie. I put it on her desk. Hi. Oh, you must be the gallant doppelganger. Hi there. Hi, how's that? How is that? I totally forget your name, but I remember, I've seen you. But you know, it's funny how some of the cats, they just come here and it's like they never were gone. You know, at first I thought it was Spiker. I was like, oh, that can't be Spiker. So, hi. Are you trying to come up? All right. So we're gonna, yeah, Sweet Pete. Okay, hi, Sweet Pete. Hey, Sweet Pete. Hi there. You're a good guy. Hey. Oh.
Sweet Pete. P-E-T-E.
Uh-huh.
Sweet Pete.
Sweet Pete. Sweet Pete is, wants attention. Oh. You got the elevator butt going too. You like that? Mm-hmm. Sweet Pete. Where's a Sweet Pete? Sweet Pete. Oh. You're not going to be here too long because people love those orange kitties. You love those orange kitties. And you are just a really friendly one. All right. I'm going to try to read a story here, Sweet Pete. Would you like to stay and listen? Mm-hmm. Would you like to stay and listen? Oh. Sweet Pete wants to be petted. And who am I to deny? All right. So let's talk about Patch-Eye, the feral cat. And those of you who missed, this is Patch-Eye. This is also was a feral cat.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. What are you doing? Hmm? What are you doing? This Sweet Pete is, oof. There's a Sweet Pete. Where's your Sweet Pete? All right. Oh, that's not good. Give me 1 second because Sweet Pete just knocked over my soda. Aha. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see you in there. I didn't see you in there. Alrighty, let me wipe this up and we'll continue with the story. Of course, Sweet Pete just... Oh, really? Well, you knew that wasn't going to take long because Sweet Pete is really a really nice cat. All right. So we're talking about Patch-Eye, the feral cat. Patch-Eye, a female calico cat, was among a colony of feral cats that lived in the corner of a parking lot amongst a stack of wooden pallets at my place of employment for years. And this is Craig's story. So some of my co-workers bought food and would make sure they were fed every day. Some people complained about the cats, so one of my co-workers found a person who worked for a vet, came out and trapped all the cats, had them spayed and neutered. There were about 18 cats. My co-worker found a person who has a farm who took all the cats except Patch-Eye and her son Pumpkin, who was an orange tabby. and asked if I would adopt them because Patchy was the favorite among the people who fed the cats. I accepted because I have a pole barn and knew they would have a good shelter compared to living outdoors. Yes, our Craig, Daisy, Pippi, Solly's dad. This is Craig's story. They were content in staying in the barn and not going outside. Every day when I would feed them, Patchy would hiss at me when I opened the door with food for them, and Pumpkin would go hide. About a year later, Pumpkin somehow escaped out of the barn and was never seen again. Patchy stayed and started to gain my trust after 2 years, and then would greet me and meow when I opened the door to feed her. After being with me for 4 years, Patchy started to head bump me and rub her body against my legs and purr. She could look out the window towards our house and see I had inside cats in the house, who would sit by the window and watch the birds, which might have been a reason why she befriended me. When we adopted FFRC Daisy, the yellow lab dog, Patchy would sit on the window ledge I made for her and would watch when I took Daisy out for a walk out back. One day I brought Daisy into the barn with me after a walk. Patchy greeted her with no problem at all. No hissing or growling, which made me happy. Both got along great. My co-workers gave Patchy her name because half of her face is black and the other half is part tan and white. The exact age of Patchy is unknown, but we do know she was at least 12 years old, if not older, with the combined place at my work and my house. I had her almost 8 years to the day when she passed away peacefully in my barn in September of 2016. So I thought that's a really, really great story about, another feral cat who got to live out their life safe, being safe, being fed, and not have to worry about predators. So that is Patchy. So thank you for the story, Craig. All right. What the heck is that? All right. The next story is called Oscar and Emmy Weather a Hurricane. All right. And those of you who were there, we have a cat named Salem who we call her Emmy. Now, she's an inky. She's a total inky cat. She's a total weirdo, too. Unfortunately, she's basically half feral, even though she does live in our house. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Craig. All right, so here's the story. Hooray! No school tomorrow, Abby and Charlie exclaim. The twins scoop up their cats, Oscar and Emmy, and jump around in celebration. Your dad and I don't have to go to work either, Mom says. Everyone is going to be busy preparing for the storm. And you can see Oscar and Emmy right there. All right, next page. That night, Mom and Dad take out 2 emergency kit boxes. The twins read the list of items out loud while Mom and Dad replace the expired food. Abby says, I love that Oscar and Emmy have their own emergency kit. I answered that in a second, Lost Girl. Oh, here comes Sweet Pete. Animals have to be prepared too. As Emmy sniffs one of the boxes, Oscar jumps in the other. So, here is the picture. And here's our disaster kit for pets. Litter box, feed and water, a collar, photos, toys, crate, and medications. How did Salem become Emmy, Lost Girl? Okay. Well, what happened was when we adopted her, we decided we were going to call her Salem, but we wanted to kind of give her a nickname because we give all of our cats nicknames, and Bonnie wasn't thrilled with the name Sally as a nickname, so we said Salem, Emmy. So that's how we started calling her Emmy. Yeah, Salem M. So. The next day, Oscar and Emmy watch the storm updates with the rest of the family. Charlie says, "At school, we learned that a Category 4 hurricane is very dangerous." Dad points at the screen. "Look how far those bands extend. This hurricane is going to affect the state's coastal area. I feel bad for all the people living there," says Abby. Over the weekend, the hurricane brings lots of strong rain, wind, and thunder sounds, scaring Oscar and Emmy. Thud. Splat. Boom. Oscar stays close to Abby while Emmy stays far away from the windows. After the power blinks a few times, Charlie says, "I'm surprised we still have electricity." Mom replies, "Even if we lose power, we are well prepared. Our phones are charged, the flashlights have new batteries, and we have extra gas for the grill." So this must be Emmy because Emmy is way far away from the windows. Suddenly, the tornado alerts on the television and phones start going off simultaneously. Oscar and Emmy run away from the loud noises. Charlie exclaims, "We need to hide in the bathroom." "You're right," says Abby. They immediately follow the steps they learned at school in case of an emergency. Mom, Abby, and Charlie quickly go to the downstairs bathroom in the middle of the house. Dad picks up Oscar and Emmy along the way. As soon as the severe weather alert ends, the family comes out of the bathroom, but the weather alerts continue through the evening. "Looks like we'll have to sleep in the bathroom to make sure we're safe," says Mom. She prepares the bathroom to make it more comfortable for the long night ahead. "Kids, get your favorite blankets." And you're going to see that the cats are sleeping in the bathroom. Oscar and Emmy have their food out there, and they got their litter box. In the morning, the family emerges from the bathroom. "The winds have slowed down," says Dad. Oscar and Emmy are happy to be free from the cramped space. They explore the house, and after seeing everything is in place, they take their morning nap. Charlie tells Abby, "Emmy looks so cute when she sleeps with her tongue out." Abby replies, "Look how twisted Oscar's body is when he sleeps." The next day, city officials announce a mandatory evacuation for certain areas. "We have to evacuate," Dad says. There could be flooding here." "Hello, Oil Sands Girl." Mom replies, "Let's gather some supplies to take with us. Then when we have to move what we can upstairs just in case our house floods." Oscar and Emmy look bewildered by the parade of activity up and down the steps. When the car is packed, Emmy calls, "Oscar, Emmy, time to go." Oscar and Emmy show up carrying their favorite treat bag and toy. After Abby puts the cats in their crate, everyone gets in the car. They head off to Grandma Mary's house where they will be safe. And then you're going to see the two cats there. I'm trying to put my thumb between them so that you can see their little treats. Work and school are canceled for an entire week. The family plays games, watches television, and goes online to pass the time. Mom finds a new internet group, Hurricane Harvey Book Club, where people post videos of themselves reading their favorite books. Abby suggests, why don't we make our own video with Oscar and Emmy? On the news, they see reports of people going through flooded streets, searching for stranded pets. Oscar perks his ears at the sound of meowing on the television, and Emmy pats the screen with her paw. After 5 days of rain, tornado alerts, and flash flood warnings, the sun is finally shining, and Oscar and Emmy bask in its rays. Mom calls one of the neighbors who informs her that the street isn't flooded. The twins cheer. Yay! Dad replies, we have to wait until the roads are clear to return home. Somebody is snoring. I don't know who it is. Here comes Sweet Pete again. The next day, Mom takes the twins to help a family from church whose home has been flooded. Meanwhile, Grandma Mary suggests to Dad, let's bake some cookies for local shelters and first responders. Oscar inspects the floor for any crumbs that drop, while Emmy watches curiously from a chair. I thought I was going to get attacked by Sweet Pete, but he walked by. But he thought about it because he was looking up here like he was going to jump up here. The next day, it's finally safe to return home. The twins hug and thank Grandma Mary. Oscar and Emmy are not excited to get back in the crate for the car ride, but they are so happy to be going home. The family arrives at their house, and they are all relieved to see that everything is fine. The cats proceed to sniff their surroundings. Dad says, wow, our house has been spared from flooding. Charlie adds, yeah, Dad, but many people weren't so lucky. Mom says, let's do more to help others who aren't as lucky as us. Abby adds, and maybe something for all the animals too. We could teach others about disaster kits for their pets. Mom says, well, as horrible as this past week has been, we certainly learned some important lessons. All right, and now it has some Hurricane Harvey facts. Hello, Sweet Pete. Hey, you. Sweet Pete. How you doing? All right. So, Hurricane Harvey facts. According to the National Hurricane Center, a Category 4 hurricane has sustained winds of 120 to 156 miles per hour. Catastrophic damage will occur. Well-built framed homes can sustain severe damage with loss of most of the roof structure and/or some exterior walls. Most trees will be snapped or uprooted and the power poles down, isolating some isolated residential areas. Power outages will last weeks to possibly months. Most of the area will be uninhabitable for a while. In August of 2017, Hurricane Harvey was the first hurricane of a Category 3 or higher to hit U.S. soil in 12 years. It had been 10 years since a strong hurricane hit Texas. This family's home was spared from flooding, but many people were not so lucky, as many homes, cars, businesses, and schools were flooded. According to the National Hurricane Center, Hurricane Harvey caused $125 billion in damage, affecting 13 million people in 5 states. Hurricane Harvey caused at least 88 deaths, damaged over 200,000 homes, while destroying almost 13,000 of them, and flooded 1 million cars. Several areas outside Houston recorded over 50 inches of rain, with many places receiving over 30 inches of rain. The National Weather Service office in Houston issued 156 tornado warnings during the storm, with more than 30 actual tornadoes. Since the storm was no longer a hurricane when it moved over Houston, it didn't have the strong winds that normally cause people to lose electricity. As such, many areas that did not flood were fortunate, still had power throughout the storm. Many local businesses and churches opened up as shelters for people who had nowhere to go when they evacuated, while restaurants and stores donated food and supplies. Many people were involved in rescuing those who were trapped by the flooding waters. In addition to first responders like police, firefighters, and the military, there were civilians with boats or lifted trucks who rescued people and animals. The Cajun Navy from Louisiana is a group of citizens with boats for rescue missions who travel to wherever there are floods. It takes a very long time for any area to recover from a national disaster, but they eventually do. Neighbors help neighbors, and people from all over the country either donate money or go to the affected areas to help clean up and rebuild. When the sun came out and the media stopped covering Hurricane Harvey, that didn't mean the danger was over. Many neighborhoods were still flooded, while many more feared being flooded when the various rivers and bayous in Houston, nicknamed the Bayou City, reached their cresting point, the highest the water is expected to go. Huge animal rescue centers were set up for anyone who was separated from their pets. Animal rescue organizations from all over the state and beyond volunteered to help clear the shelters before the storm or take the strays and unclaimed animals after the storm. During the storm, organizations like Friends for Life helped area shelters process the intake of evacuees with pets. So, again, this story is about 2 cats who basically lived through this storm. Then we have the disaster kit for pets. You should plan enough supplies for each pet to last at least 2 weeks. Your vet and grocery stores may be closed or out of stock for a while. I think we all have that experience in these days. Food and water. Have at least a 2-week supply per pet of their favorite food at all times. Wet food cans should be small enough to use all in one meal in case there is no power and the refrigerator available. Dry food should be stored in an airtight, waterproof container. Make sure to have a food dish, scoop, spoon, or anything else you would normally use during feeding time. Check your kit regularly to ensure the food has not expired. Have at least a 2-week supply of water at all times. Gallon jugs of bottled water work well. This is in case the water system is contaminated. If you can't drink it, neither can your pets. Medications. If your pet is on long-term medication, have at least a 2-week supply in your kit. Keep a supply of medical records, especially rabies vaccination history. You might have to evacuate to places that require proof of vaccinations. Litter box and potty pads. For cats, have a small litter box, scoop bags used to throw litter away, and enough kitty litter to last at least 2 weeks. For dogs, have a 2-week supply potty pads in case you aren't able to go outside. Collar and leash. Your pet should always have a collar with updated tags, as well as being microchipped. Your phone number should be on the tag, since you may have to evacuate and will be temporarily at a new address. Every kit should also include a leash or a harness. Toys. You should have a few of your pet's favorite toys. Moving locations during a disaster will be stressful for the pets too. Having a familiar toy can help calm them down. Pictures. Include printed pictures of your pet in case your pet gets lost during the disaster. Photos of you and your pet together can help speed up the reuniting process, since it will be easier to prove they belong to you. Paperwork. In a waterproof file, you should have copies of the rabies records, microchip info, medication schedule, a photo of your pet, and your contact info. You should also have your veterinarian's contact number, a family member's contact number, and a list of pet-friendly hotels in case you need to evacuate to a hotel. And finally, a crate. Your pet's crate should have your name, contact information, and your pet's name labeled on the outside. You should also practice putting your pets in a crate if they are not used to it. Leaving the crate out with the door open and a blanket and treats inside will help them be less stressed when they see it. So I'll read the back, and then this book is done. About the author. Growing up near the Gulf Coast of Texas, Terry Sable has experienced quite a few weather events in her lifetime. 2017's Hurricane Harvey inspired her to write Oscar and Emmy Weather a Hurricane, to show the importance of preparing a plan for pet safety during natural disasters. So for more books on the Oscar and Emmy series, go to terrysabol.com, TERRISABOL.com. So this is Oscar and Emmy Weather a Hurricane. So I have one more book. I'm going to just take a little break, and then I will read the final book, which is called Temple Cat. All right. And, you know, no, this is not about a cat that went to Temple University in Philadelphia. I'm a Temple University grad, just to let you know. So I'm just going to take a little break, stretch my legs, and then we will read the next book. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Marilyn. Boy, you weren't here long, were you? You weren't here long. Well, show me his belly. All right. Okay. I think we're going to start the last book of the evening, and that is called Temple Cat. Alrighty. In the ancient city of Neba, there stood a temple, and in the midst of the temple lived a cat. But the cat did not just live there. The cat was the lord of the temple. Ever since he's been a tiny kitten, there had been servants who did nothing else but care for him and watch over him. They fed him. They played music for him. They danced for him. They kept a sacred fire burning for him. They worshipped him as a god. No one could remember when the people in this land had started to worship cats. And the cat certainly did not know or care. All he knew was that being the lord of the temple was not much fun. Look at him, he's really bored. When he tried to catch a fish in the reflecting pool, a servant would rush over and catch it for him, and then cook it up with rich herbs and spices and serve it to him in a little golden bowl. I don't know about you. Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I don't think this sounds too bad. You know what? Can you catch that fish for me? If he stretched out to sleep in the sunshine up in a cool stone of the windowsill, a servant would gently lift him and lay him back down on the deep crimson pillows of his bed. When he wanted to prowl around all alone at night and catch the moths that flit in the moonlight and scare himself silly with his own shadow, a servant would follow him about with a fan and a torch and spoil all the fun. From his perch high above the courtyard, past the reach of the tallest servant, there in the highest branches of the almond tree, he could see far beyond the temple walls. There were children playing in the streets, and all the other cats in the world roamed free. So late one night, he slipped out of the temple like a wisp of smoke. Kind of like what Gala tries to do when I open up the door to the garage. There's been a couple of times he tried to slip out into the garage like a wisp of smoke. First through the courtyard, then down a lane into an alley, over a fence, across a field, up a hill, through a pasture, along a road, into a village, and finally he came to rest in a little barn as the sun was coming up. And he slept as he had never slept before. And he traveled this way for another 3 more nights until he came to the edge of the sea. It was chilly, and he went toward a little hut where a smoky fire burned on the sand. He moved cautiously into the ring of firelight and meowed. The nights of traveling and not eating had made him look scrawny and a little wild. No one, not even his servants from the temple, would have thought he was a god. Who's meowing? Who's meowing? So the man who sat on the rough stool tossed him a fish head. For the first time in his life, the little cat had a real cat supper, and he had never had tasted anything so good. So there's the fish head. And there's the cat. Of course, he's licking himself after he eat it. And later when he purred and rubbed against a fisherman's leg, the man scratched behind his ears, and he never felt anything so delicious. So this kitty cat, even though he was worshipped, they weren't meeting his needs. They weren't scratching behind his ears. They weren't giving him the food he likes. They weren't letting him sit in a sunbeam. All of the things that cats like. Early the next morning, the fisherman's children came dancing out into the bright sunshine and then stopped in their tracks. And then, before the cat even knew what his dearest wish was, it came true. He played with the children, and they loved him. And then that's basically the end of the book. So, even though he wasn't worshipped, this is what he wanted. Now, the back of the book says, the little cat living in the temple in the ancient city of Neba has everything he could wish for. But from his perch in the courtyard tree, he could see the world beyond the temple walls. There, children play in the streets. There, other cats roam free. So one night, the temple cat slips out. During his long, hard journey, he lives as a cat, not as a god, and finds at the edge of the sea his true heart's desire. So that's the end of Temple Cat. So we had three book stories, and then we had Craig's stories. Anybody have any questions, or anybody have any comments? Hold on for a second. I want to give Lucy some treats. Woo! Hi, Lucy. Lucy. Candy's still here. And I think that's Hensley in here. Hello, Marilyn. Yes, he wanted fun. Oh, you're welcome, DeWitty. I'm glad you like that. Little Meeser with no one to play with. He'll find somebody. So I really wanted to read you this because I've been a supporter of colony cats for a long time, and they're not a rescue center. All they do is they go around every day and feed these feral cats. Also, if any of them are injured or anything like that, they take them to the vet, and they do fundraisers so that they can afford the vet bills and all that. It is really, really great place. If you're ever interested, you just go to Colony Cats on Facebook. And again, the cats is spelled with a K. So they do a lot of great work. Oh, no problem. No problem, Craig. No problem, Lost Girl. I think that's what Lucy wanted. Lucy wanted some treats. Hi, little Meeser. So, no, they're not part of Alley Cat Allies. They're an independent group. Hi. I have a feeling you're not going to be here long, little Meesers. Hi. You want to come up?
Come here.
Here we go. The last of the Meesers. Oh, he's purring. Oh, sure she's purring. I don't know. Oh, it's a purring girl. What's a little measure? What's a measure? Yes, Lost Girl. It's only those two mentioned in the books. Measure, measure. And I don't know if you guys follow, what's her name? Barbara Kane. She helps feral cats in Toledo, which is only about an hour away from here. Oh yeah, I figured the muser was leaving soon. Barbara's, I forget what the colony is called, but unfortunately Barbara came down with COVID-19, and she had to go to the hospital, and she's on a ventilator right now. So they have a lot of people trying to pitch in while she's in the hospital, and I hope she, hopefully she can get better, and but she's unfortunately, the disease has got her too, where they put her on a ventilator. They keep saying, well, she's gonna, she'll they're going to take her off the ventilator, but from the last time I heard, they haven't taken her off the ventilator. Her name's Barbara Cain, Cain, and like I said, she feeds the feral colony in Toledo. I'm trying to see if there was an update, and this is why we all have to, be really careful. This is a pretty awful disease. There's a lot of misinformation going around about this, but the true fact is Defiance officially had its first death from COVID-19 today. So that hits pretty hard too. I'm trying to see what this group is called. BARBA. Barbara's Kitty Cat Rescue Crew. All right, looks like Barbara's daughter says, Mom is still on a ventilator for another day, praying she could get off of it tomorrow. When she finally gets off of it, she will go to a step-down unit until she is able to go home. She will be in the hospital for the next 10 to 12 days. Wow. So they've been saying for a couple of days she's good enough to get off the ventilator, but that's an awful story, because she's the one who goes around and feeds these cats in Toledo. So it was funny because I thought I came across Barbara through FFRC, but that's not the case. I came across Barbara and her kitty cat crew through Colony Cats, believe it or not. Yeah, it is nice. So it was the Colony Cats who basically, I don't know if they sent some of the feral cats up there, because the other thing that Colony Cats does, there's always new cats joining the colonies. Whether they get kicked out of the house, somebody has a cat that has babies. I don't know, but I know that a lot of times, if you read the Colony Cats post, they get overwhelmed, because it's just one thing after another. Like I said, they care. I don't know if it's 3 or 7 different colonies they go around. And like I said, they do a lot of great things. And some of the cats that appear to be tame and are friendly, they do try to see if they can adopt out. And sometimes they will not ship them, but they will, they will use one of the rescue, one of the travel groups to get them to where they need to be. So really, really good thing. A lot of the cats, they finally get a chance at living a decent life indoors. So, and that's how I came across Barbara's Kitty Cat Colonies. Yeah, she leaves on Saturday. Boy. I keep calling him Sneaky Pete. No, that's not right. It looks like a gallant. Really, really friendly cat. Yes. And you know, when you're in the inner city of Philadelphia, you know, you get overwhelmed pretty quickly. Yeah, Stripey D, I think right now, she's got to get off that ventilator first, and she needs to heal. She's been really sick. I've been meaning to send her a card. You know, because this is just a tough thing. You know, Ohio now has over 11,000 cases of COVID-19. So, but you know what? Let's talk about some nice things. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of COVID-19'd out. CKOL, Colony Cats. I hear you. Oh, is that magic? Matter of fact, you're like, what has Gallant been up to? Huh. Oh, no problem, Stripey D. What has Gallant been up to? Well, Gallant basically lives the life of a spoiled cat. He basically eats, sleeps, and sometimes tortures his brothers and sisters. He, you know, he sleeps on my legs every night. And, you know, he's always going to be top cat. You know, whenever I feed everybody, he wants to be fed first, even though that doesn't really happen. Hold on for 1 second. Here, I will bring you the last of the... Oh, you want to play, huh? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, blue-eyed measer. It's a blue-eyed measer. Yes, they have acclimated to the new house. It, you know, Gallant, it took 5 seconds. The rest of them, it took a little bit, but they're all pretty much acclimated. Our Emmy cat, though, she's got some issues. Ever since her friend Ginger passed away, she hasn't been the same cat. You know, and she's always been very skittish and afraid. And she's even more afraid now. I mean, she hides all the time. The other cats kind of bully her. Kayla doesn't bother her, but our mom and baby combo does. Do. Hey, you. You like that? You're going to your forever home Saturday, huh? You going to your forever home Saturday? Hmm? All right, it's just about 10 o'clock. I'm going to get going, so I appreciate everybody tuning in for the stories. We will do it again next week. I don't know what stories I'm going to read yet, but I do have a bunch of books I can read. So thank you for your time, and I am going to head home. Have a good day, everybody. Bye, guys. Bye, Marilyn. Bye, Magic. Bye, Roshi.